Dan Hoffman's still here, so is Karl Rove. As we move to the top of the next hour, Dan, let's bring you back in. Then we'll get to Karl here before we start a fresh hour. I mentioned this, that Trump is still willing to do a deal, and he's still willing to do a deal while Zelenskyy is still in the country. And as we said 5 minutes ago, he's not wheels up yet. Dan.
Well, look, clearly this was a missed opportunity. I would emphasize again this meeting between President Trump and President Zelenskyy began with President Zelenskyy showing pictures of Russian war crimes. And look, Russia started the war. They invaded Ukraine. Russia could stop the war right now if they stopped raining down hell on Ukrainian civilians. But they're not doing that. And there's no question that Ukraine wants peace. I think if you ask Ukrainians, they absolutely want peace. I think President Zelenskyy wants peace. I think the issue for Ukraine is what Ukraine will look like post-war. What kind of reconstruction will we see? What kind of deterrence will we have against potential future Russian aggression? I think those are the issues at stake here. And if both sides can take some time now, to take a step back and maybe revisit this, I'm not very confident we're going to see that. But that's clearly what we need to be thinking about doing.
Yeah, Karl, I'll bring you in for a final thought here before we kick off a new hour. I said before the break, France's Macron has been reacting to this shouting match in the Oval Office, reacting by saying Russia's the aggressor, Ukraine is the aggressed people. Macron says we're all right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago and continue to do so. We must respect those who have been fighting since the beginning. Also noting, Brett has sent out a note, Brett Baer, saying that the interview he has with President Zelenskyy on special report tonight is still on. And the White House does know that he's sitting down for that as well. The president's aware. So that will be fascinating to watch. Karl, get your thoughts here.
Well, I thought Dan was absolutely right. The Russians invaded Ukraine, and it's in Putin's ability to stop the war immediately. If I were Volodymyr Putin and his advisor, if I were Zelenskyy and his advisors, I'd be remembering that you're dealing with the producer of The Apprentice. So the best thing to do here is to think about how this can be structured in such a way that they win and the President of the United States wins. And the best way to do that is to go on tonight and to express an interest, a deep interest in having this agreement done, and to express a willingness to fly to Mar-a-Lago tomorrow to cut the deal with the President and his advisors, and trying tonight with Walz and Rubio and Bassett to get the agreement done so that the President of the United States can have a big victory at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow or Sunday, and Ukraine can go home with knowing that the United States is now economically tied to the survival of their country.